And here we go. Both starting lineups being announced. A familiar lineup here for Dukes fans. Got point guard Drew Kircher, shooting guard Luke Malaga, small forward Jeffrey Grace, power forward Nick Hesh, he's been on quite the roll recently, and center Denton Rohde. This starting five really stayed the same throughout the year. I mean, it's been impressive. This Dukes team, of course, came off an absolutely massive win last night over number 22 in the state. Undefeated squad. Dukes handing them their first loss, looking to continue the momentum, trying to right the ship after that really tough loss to the Lions. Bobby, I mean, we're in store for a great one here. Pirates versus Dukes. What are some keys to this game?
Yeah, the big thing, and you mentioned that win for last night with York. They took down that number 22 Downers Grove North team, which was a huge win for them. Key to the game is win down low, force Proviso's bigs to get into foul trouble. And for York, avoid foul trouble. The big thing with Proviso is they have 3 players over 6'5". Those names are Tymeron Shorts, who is a 6'6" forward center, Sheldon Hinkle, and Gabriel Wright, who are all, they are 2 sophomores and a senior. And we're underway.
Here comes Javon Johnson. That Dukes bench always generating so much noise. This is one of the most hyped varsity teams we've seen in a while in such an unprecedented year. Pirates kick it outside. They get a shot up early, and it's in. Man, that was a nice look there from Gabriel Wright. The center could shoot. Gabriel Wright gets the scoring started with the Pirates on top, 3-0.
Yeah, the big last night, Javon Johnson at Morton had 21 points.
Hesh gets it back out to Grace. That's been quite the duo. These players, great chemistry. Grace all the way inside through the entire defense. Jeffrey Grace. It doesn't matter how many players are down there. He's going to find a way to score. JG3 gets on the board early.
Right, and the other thing with this Proviso team is they're a lot quicker than Downers Grove North. Downers Grove North last night was a very slow-paced team. Proviso East much quicker. They will move much faster, and when I spoke to Jeff Grace before the game, he said it's simple. You know, you can look at this 2 ways, but the one way we're looking at it is this is a big opportunity for us to take advantage of how quick this team runs in multiple ways. I think it's good we see different styles to help us down the stretch.
Denton Rohde picking up an early foul. I mean, that has been a storyline for these Dukes for seemingly 2 years now. The early foul trouble of the bigs. Rohde picks up his first foul. Hopefully nothing to foul. Here's the first one to go. So far, Proviso shooting perfectly from the field and the line. It's Jelani Johnson at the line. He is a sophomore starting on varsity.
Yeah, he is one of the 2 sophomores on this team. The other one is DeMonte Meeks, number 1.
Johnson can't get the second one to go. Rohde gets the board. You see very limited fans in attendance, a few parents of either squad, but I mean, this gym is still loud. The York bench always generating noise. See the same from the Pirates. Stepped out of bounds. It's Dukes basketball. Dukes down by 2. Jeffrey Grace running the point. You know, Jeffrey Grace listed as the 3, but he often is the guy bringing the ball up the court. Rohde, fake pass to nobody.
Yeah, last night Grace had the roll up playing point guard versus Downers Grove North. There's a nice right hook by Denton Rohde.
Yeah, that's a great look from Rohde. A little fader there. Rohde's been really turning it on here to start this middle part of the season. Jelani Johnson, sophomore, is not afraid to shoot, and Kircher comes up with the rebound.
Yeah, a quick team. They're getting off, trying to find as many open looks as possible. Kircher trying to go slow.
Rohde gives it right back to Kircher. Rohde wants it inside. Kircher can't find him. Hesh, wide open 3. No good, but Rohde offensive board. Rohde puts it in. Denton Rohde gets the Dukes their first lead of the ball game. Denton Rohde has looked sharp down the stretch for these Dukes.
Yeah, Rohde has. He didn't have many points last night. I believe he had 2 or something like that, but he's been tremendous on the glass, grabbing not only defensive and offensive rebounds. And to finish and get second chance points, that's another great thing.
You know, both Johnson brothers already making their voices heard. Javon Johnson at the line now already has all of the points for this Pirates squad. Johnson gets the first one to go.
Yeah, York is going to go more physical. They want to get some more size out there with putting in Kastner, who is built much stronger than he is than Rhodey, that is. Rhodey has the height. However, Kastner, is much stronger than Rhodey.
Gets them both to go. Johnson brothers making their names heard early. It's 6-6 with 5:40 to go in this first quarter. Here comes Jeffrey Grace. Unlike many other teams, we see Proviso starting off with a half-court press. Seen plenty of full-court press against the Dukes this year, and that's how they struggled so badly against the Lions. Jeffrey Grace. Looks like he's trying to get the ball to Hesh. Hesh sets the hard screen. That's Kircher. Kircher going all the way in. That's as easy as a look you're going to find. Fouled on the way up. He will shoot two. Kircher finds his way through what seemed to be like 3 Pirates defenders on the baseline. Gets an easy look and will get to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, great look by Kircher there to drive inside. And last night, Kircher, all of his lines came from the points. He had 10 in that Downers Grove North win, and each one was bigger. He didn't have any in the first half, but 10 free throws in that second half for him.
Yeah, 10 points from the line. Very impressive. Kircher gets 2 from the line there. Dukes on top by 2. Here comes Eads. To Wright. Right back to Eads. Eads from the wing. No. That's off a Duke, and that will maintain Pirates basketball.
Just another reason this Proviso East team, they move quick. That's what they do. They're going to move quick. That's kind of the style that they run, and they're doing the same thing here. And York is trying to do their best possible on defense to slow it down.
Both teams, only 3 seniors on the floor. Seen both teams use plenty of youth to start this one. There's senior Allen Eads. He's up to Wright. Wright. Oh, that's a wide open look. He's been hot so far, and he continues. The Johnson brothers are on fire.
Javon Johnson, like I mentioned, he had 21 last night. He is a pure scorer for the fact that he is only a junior with this Proviso East team.
It's Kastner up top, not something you say often. There goes Grace. Jeffrey Grace inside through the quadruple team. Jeffrey Grace slithery, but can't get it to go. And now it's the Pirates in transition. Javon Johnson to the corner. That's a corner 3. No. Oh, man. First time you hear a vocal coach this game. Pirates head coach Donnie Boyce unhappy with the call.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about Donnie Boyce right now. He's a former NBA player. He went to Proviso East High School, played there, and he's been a coach since 2011. His first year with the Pirates, he took him down to the state championship, finished second to Simeon at the time, who had Jabari Parker and company. He's got 2 state Final Four appearances alongside that one state championship appearance. And I mentioned they go quick. For points for a game, they average 59 a game. They're averaging 59 points per game, but they really struggle in defense. They're averaging 61 allowed a game. They're not going to win a lot of games like that. The reason why they are 3-3, and it's been an okay season for them thus far. But I think Donnie Boyce and this Proviso East team, they don't have a full roster. They only have 8 players.
And I mean, sure, a 3-3 start may not be smiled upon by many onlookers. Boyce has done a great job with this program, as you mentioned. Plenty of late runs in the playoffs, and as you mentioned, only 8 players seem to be dressed for this Pirates team. I mean, that was a theme for the sophomore game that we were on the call for as well. They only had 5 players dressed. Both rosters really limited in players, whereas you see the Dukes, I mean, that almost seems to be a near 20-player roster.
Right, and it is actually, a matter of fact, a 20-player roster, and there are, I believe, there are 8 players for Proviso East, but they have multiple players on the bench who are just wearing warm-ups right now. It look like who won't touch the floor today.
Yeah, I mean, that is rough for the Pirates. The depth was a problem in that sophomore affair. Obviously, not looking to have the same thing happen here. Hesh gets it into Grace. Grace inside. Grace, man, I mean, the height didn't matter there. Jeffrey Grace through 2 defenders once again, getting himself on the board, putting the Dukes up 1.
No, Grace is strong, so he's going to get in there. He's going to body anyone. Size doesn't matter, and Kircher got a good back tap to force that turnover.
And I mean, there's no fans here, but it certainly feels like it. This Dukes bench generates so much noise. I mean, that is an advantage of a 20 6-player roster, they're generating so much noise, it's almost like they have a 6th man on the floor.
You're right about that, too.
Now it's Grace. Grace with the mid-range jumper. He's really feeling himself in this first quarter. Can't get that one to go. Pirates, as you said, playing fast. Through Hesh. Hesh! What a block from Nick Hesh. It almost seemed like Gabriel Wright was going to have an easy layup there. Hesh comes out of nowhere. Clean block from the back.
Yeah, Hesh 6'6", but he is very light. I can only imagine what his wingspan is. As we're going to see number 3, Amorion Griffin, check in. The senior guards for this Proviso East team.
Out goes Alan Eads. Successful inbound. Kircher nearly gets his hand on it, and there's a foul against the Dukes.
Yeah, Kircher last night, he picked up 2 quick fouls. He sat for most of the first quarter into the second quarter. And a big name who filled in for him was Alex Sherman, who is currently, he's sitting out there on the floor. And Sherman, the role he plays, I spoke to him last night prior to the DGN game.
A bit of confusion at the booth there. Looks like the foul did come against Drew Kircher. Ref initially said it came against Patrick Kastner, clearly on Kircher. And here comes Jeffrey Grace on defense. Open guy in the corner, he takes it. Hesh has got to get out there sooner, but I mean, that wingspan makes it easy to contest shots from everywhere. Inside, no. I mean, you have an odd man rush like that. You have 3 guys to 1 in the paint. You'd assume the Dukes come away with points.
Yeah, Sherman looked like he got a little jumpy down there, putting that one up a little too quick. And the role he plays, he says, you know, my role is to try and be a great defender and a dependable offensive piece. Also have to just learn from the guys who have more experience, and those guys would be Grace, Malaga, even Hesh and Rhodey to a point, and I would even throw Kircher in that as Casey checks in for the first time today.
Javon Johnson. Javon Johnson up for 3. Johnson has really had his name in on every single play for the Pirates so far. I mean, that was a great recovery by the Pirates on offense. That seemed like it would surely be Duke's basketball, but I mean, the recovery, spectacular, great rip there, and it will be Duke's basketball. That was an absolutely amazing play by Casey.
Yeah, good job ripping that free. Kircher nearly lost his footing.
And he traveled. That's rough. Kircher, a couple careless plays here to start this quarter. Only 2:30 to go in this first quarter. Duke's on top by 1. It'll be Pirates basketball.
We're going to see Redfern check, and that is kind of an interesting person that is coming in. I would expect them to put Rhodey back out there for a little more size, but
Redfern, certainly known for his shooting, is a sharpshooter for this squad. He really does not see the floor too often.
No, he does not.
It's clear that Coach Dunn looking to get some points on the board and get them on the board fast. You'll likely see Redfern sitting in the corner. That's what he does so well, that wing and corner 3-point shots.
You mix that with Alex Sherman and Casey. It's a young group out there. It is. Am I looking at all juniors right now? I think I am. Juniors and sophomore.
Yeah, 4 juniors and a sophomore on the floor for the Dukes. I mean, that is interesting. We know the Dukes like to play young. See Jeffrey Grace already looking to sub back into the game. He is that big senior presence. He is the spark plug for this team. He's looking to come back in.
That was a great play by Hesh to get down there and that 3 off the mark.
Oh, that is a great hustle from sophomore Alex Sherman. I mean, it was a 2-on-1 there for that rebound. He's able to draw the foul and maintain Duke's basketball. That forces a substitution for the Pirates. Back comes Alan Eads. He'll be checking in for Amorion Griffin.
It's a young team out there right now for York, and they brought out
Kircher came out.
Kircher came out, so Grace is going to come back in. And you have a lot of scoring out there right now with Redfern, Sherman, Hesh, and Casey.
Yeah, seemingly everyone out there can score at will. And Sherman, wow, I mean, that's a contested look. Now what you want to get up, Hesh with a very big offensive rebound. Redfern, if he's on the floor, I'd like him to shoot that, but giving up was a good idea as he has an open Casey. Man, a couple potential open looks there for the Dukes. Doesn't result in any points. And now it's Jelani Johnson going the other way. Jelani to his brother Javon. It's Tamarion Shorts. Right back to Johnson. To Eads. In the corner. Got it. That's a great look there from Tamarion Shorts. Gets in the game and quickly makes his name heard. Cutting this Dukes lead to 1 with under 1 minute to go in this first quarter. Jeffrey Grace gets it to the corner to Casey. Right back to Casey. To Redfern up top. Redfern quickly gives it up to Sherman.
Proviso East isn't going to let them hold for a final shot right now. At least it doesn't look that way, the way they're playing on defense.
Yeah, I mean, we ragged on their defense early. They are looking sharp so far for the second half of the first quarter. I mean, they have played some tight defense, have not made it easy on the Dukes. Now it's Hesh on the outside. Only 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. Hesh to Casey. Casey being guarded tightly, tries to give it to Grace, and that's an over and back. That's a careless play from Kieran Casey. And it looks like they will get some more veterans in the game, if you will. Patrick Kastner coming in for Nick Hesh here. I mean, you could look at it as they want more experience. In my eyes, it's clear that they don't want Hesh to pick up a careless foul here with 18.7 to go in this first quarter. Hesh does pick up plenty of fouls. No need to have him in here on a defensive possession.
Right, he gets into foul trouble real frequently, and it's something you would want to avoid.
Man, he had an open look, didn't want it. The Dukes clearly knew that. They left him open with intention.
Yeah, Boyce was frustrated with
Johnson.
that one.
Oh, it didn't matter. I mean, this Javon Johnson kid is looking special. He is a junior who has just put on a show so far. All of a sudden, Proviso East Pirates on top by 1. We're in for a good one. Proviso East Pirates 13, York Dukes 12. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. We'll be right back after this quarter intermission. And there's the horn. This timeout is coming to a close. Timeout, of course, the intermission between quarters. See the Dukes trotting out a more familiar lineup than they ended the quarter with. See Patrick Kastner out there with Nick Hesh, Jeffries. He has not made his name heard on the scoring side of things, but he has been a difference maker on both the offensive and defensive side. He's done a good job stopping Hesh in the middle. Now here's Grace in the middle, gives it to Kastner. Hesh, wide open three. He wants this one. He got it. Nick Hesh gets it to go that time. And whenever Hesh scores, I mean, the bench is clearly hype.
Hesh can score from almost anywhere. You're right, top of the key. Outside three won't go.
Oh, and man, that was a great offensive board by Jermaine Williams. He's done a great job playing with his height. Couldn't get it to go on the putback. And now the Dukes have a chance to extend their lead. Hesh.
I think he got blocked up there.
Yeah, that is not something that he is used to, and that's a great move on the other end to tie up the ball game from Amorian Griffin. Now Grace opting to slow it down. No need to pick up the pace here in a tie ball game. Grace, now he picks up the pace inside, looks to draw a foul. That's a clean block, and here comes Johnson. Proviso East team sure does play fast. Johnson wastes no time to put up a shot, can't get it to go.
We're going to see Kircher check back in. I wonder who's going to go back in for. If it's either going to be, I think he's going to come in for either Sherman or Malaga right now.
That was Kastner, gives it to Hesh. Hesh to Grace. Pirates bench wanted to travel there, didn't get it. That leads to an Alex Sherman wide open floater. Oh, man. That's not a shooter's roll. Now it's Griffin looking to take advantage of it.
Need that one to hit off the glass ball.
It's Tamarion Shorts. Man, I mean, that looked like a little bit of a Jeffrey Grace action. Jelani Johnson now scores. The Johnson brothers, sophomore and junior, really putting on a show here for the onlookers. They have, I mean, an insane amount of points already. Combined already in the double digits. Over half the team's points on the back of the brothers. Almost reminds you of a little Cam and Max Christie action. And here we go. Pirates on top by 2. Timeout already coming to a close. Bobby. Pirates on top by 2. I mean, this game's been going back and forth. What do the Dukes have to do to regain control?
Well, I'd have to, simple, win down low, get the easy shots. You've had a few tough misses with Sherman missing the layup. You had Hesh miss the layup. you would have to, I would say, get back down low, focus in down low, get the shots down low, stop relying on the three. That was the thing that they wanted to stray away from last night. However, really wasn't the case for most of it. But that's what I would do if I were York, and that's what I would say in this timeout.
I see Sherman talking to a trainer on the sideline. He looks to be okay. Drew Kircher gets it to Grace, resetting the offense. Grace finds the open Kircher in the corner. Kircher looks for a foul and gets it. Just like last night, Kircher will be looking to extend all of his points from the line with a chance to tie this game.
Well, Eads picked up the foul, and right away, Donnie Boyce showed him what to do defensively to, not draw too many fouls. That was his second one that he'd picked up.
Kircher makes that first one look easy. And of course, it's great to have experience as a coach, but I mean, it's hard to match NBA experience.
Right, yeah, former NBA player like we mentioned at the top.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a difference maker for this Proviso East Pirates team. He's done a great job with the program, and Kircher can't tie it up. And who else but Javon Johnson on the board? He's listed as a guard, but he's really a do-it-all player. He brings it up, he gets the boards. He's doing it all for these Pirates, up by 1 with the basketball.
Amari 6'2" guard, I would have to say he is almost a forward at times the way he plays and moves around the court.
Definitely brings the speed of a guard, though. I mean, he is the perfect mold for this Proviso East offense. There's Kircher from the corner, opts not to take it. He's got to get that shot up. Now it's Luke Malaga with it. Malaga working through the defense. He gets an open floater in the middle, high off the glass and in to give the Dukes a 1-point lead. That's a great possession for Malaga. Really did it all by himself.
A nice look, and that's a great job by Jeffrey Grace to force that off of Gabriel Wright. But you're right about the Malaga play. Kind of just went under one, just kind of threw it up high off the glass, and
Grace
under 5 timeout.
Grace, I mean, doing such a great job. You see him there. I mean, he is such a heads-up player. Jeffrey Grace really consistently able to do it all.
Right, exactly. Out of the timeout right now, we got to talk about this York job. They've done a really good job defensively, forcing the turnovers. They've done a great job with that. But the other thing you would have to look at here if you're York and coming out of this timeout is they've done a good job trying to win down low, and you put back the height out there with Hesh and Rhodey. Both of them have done a good job staying out of foul trouble thus far. I think they both only have 1 foul together. I would try to get back down low to them.
All of a sudden, this Proviso East Pirates team comes out of a timeout, and they're running like a 3/4 court press. Must have seen something on that Dukes offensive end that they could exploit. Seems to be working. The Dukes certainly playing under pressure here. Denton Rhodey gets it to Grace. Off the screen from Hesh. Hesh is open for 3. Oh, he still takes it contested. That's a huge advantage of being that tall. Even when a guy's in your face, if you pull that jumper from that high up, I mean, it's hard to contest.
Yeah, comparison I would say to Hesh is like Kevin Durant style player. Where very lengthy, but he can score from almost anywhere. Down low, can play any position.
Oh, that's an air ball. I mean, you're not going to get a much more open look from that, Jelani Johnson. It's a foul call. Looks like it may be coming against Jeffrey Grace. Yes, it is against Jeffrey Grace. I mean, it seems like a lot of the stars for this York Dukes team seem to pick up early fouls. You see Hesh do it, you see Grace do it, you see Rhodey do it. It's just not something that could be happening. Only Grace's first foul, nothing to be freaked out about yet. Both teams sitting at 5 fouls, but Grace, when he did get in that foul trouble late against Lions, it really hurt them.
Right, and the one thing that these officials done, they're letting both teams play, regardless. It's been a much more physical game, but they're letting them play, and both teams at 10 fouls combined at this point.
They want to jump ball, and they get it. Javon Johnson, really no need to go up with that look there. He was the only guy in blue in the paint as opposed to about 4 Dukes who trapped in on him. Dukes force a jump ball, but it will stay Pirates basketball with just under half of the second quarter remaining. Kircher steps up to play on the outside, leaves a guy wide open, misses. I mean, that's 2 of the most wide open shots we've seen from Varsity Affairs back to back, and neither of them can go. Now they're forced to take a contested mid-range. That was not a great possession for the Pirates.
No, that wasn't a good shot by the, I believe that was Alan Eads. I think he could have gotten into the hands of Javon Johnson, who would have had a chance to make a real good play with that, but it doesn't happen.
Now it's Hesh setting the screen for Kircher, little junior action. Kircher trying to do an acrobatic finish. No need for that there.
Did a good job getting inside, but York has struggled trying to finish down low. Kircher.
Oh, huge miscommunication. That allows Kircher to go the other way.
Just another one.
Man, that's 2 layups now that Kircher's missed. Don shaking his head. Rightfully so. Kircher left 4 points on the board in about 10 seconds there. He's unhappy with himself. Grace getting back into the game. No surprise there. Hesh already with 2 fouls. I mean, that. When was the last time there was a game we didn't say that?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but going to line will be right. He'll shoot too.
And you see Jelani Johnson on the sideline. Looks like he's trying to work that ankle. He was in some clear pain after he missed that open 3, wondering why he airballed it. He's working the ankle against the wall. Hopefully all is good there. Johnson brothers have been really good for these Pirates thus far.
He's working out his, I believe it's his left leg that he's doing a calf stretch. Right goes over 2. You can't leave those points at the free throw line, no matter the team, especially in a game like this where it's very close. It's going to go down to the stretch, go down to the wire, I would assume.
Now here's Grace trying to capitalize on the errors from Kircher. All of a sudden, this Pirates defense seems to have a completely different look again. Almost a triple trap. Kircher opts not to shoot it, opts to give it up to Kastner, who finds the open man in the corner. That's Alex Sherman, and there's almost never a doubt in my mind. When you see Alex Sherman open, it's going in.
Yeah, he's a good corner specialist, and he can shoot from 3. That's what he was saying about being a dependable offensive piece earlier. Just a great shot by Sherman.
Oh, man, I mean, that is just using your will against the Dukes there. That was Gabriel Wright, listed as a forward and a center. Only player on this team that has played so far that's listed as a center.
Yeah, Sherman had a possibility to draw a charge right there.
Doesn't matter. He gets it to go inside. Sherman now 5 quick points for the Dukes to extend the lead 23-19. Man, this fast-moving offense is starting to hurt these Pirates. There's a couple careless mistakes, and here come the Dukes again. Malaga fouled on the way up. He'll shoot 2. Donnie Boyce not happy about it, but...
Donnie Boyce was asking for some confirmation because he thought he'd gotten no ball. And it's on Johnson who picks up his first foul.
See Dunn, not something we saw him do in that loss to Lions. He's making some sort of adjustment here mid-game. I've really liked what I've seen from Coach Dunn thus far. There's a reason the Dukes are up by 4. I mean, I don't want to speak too soon. The Dukes have been up in plenty of games and blown it, but Dunn has definitely seemed to have slowed it down and really helped these Dukes succeed in this one as they're on top by 4.
That was the case last night, too. They were up 22-5 going into halftime, and they got outscored in the second half by 10 points. Not ideal, but they did a good job finishing. They didn't let it get... It could have been a lot worse. Downers Grove North did not have a single lead, I believe, in that second half. Has done a good job, made the adjustments needed, but they're not really a good third-quarter team.
No, just in general, this Dukes team certainly a first-half team, so it's definitely good for Dukes fans to see that they are already on top. Because there's always something that happens at that halftime. They come out and they're not the same team. That's a foul on Kastner. He's been getting a lot more playing time in this second quarter than we're used to seeing. Kastner been in this game nearly the entire time, only his first foul.
Yeah, they wanted to bring the size out there with no Levens after he opted to play football, which starts in just a few short weeks. They brought in Kastner, who's got the size.
And it's interesting to see Rhodey still on the bench. He has not got a lot of time in this one. They're opting to keep Kastner in there, and he gets the board.
Well, the big thing about Kastner is he's 195 pounds. A lot of that is pure muscle. He may only be 5'11", and so he doesn't have the height, but he is still very strong and is still a very physical athlete.
Grace gets it to the corner now. That's Malaga. Malaga, oh man, through the pressure. Malaga with a double pumping layup, and the Duke's bench is letting him hear it.
Yeah, good way to go up by 7. A great move by Malaga. They've focused on taking those inside shots, and another jump ball that's going to go down with York.
And Coach Donnie Boyce certainly trying to make some sort of change. He is screaming right now, our motions and all. And there comes Denton Rhodey back into the game with 45.2 to go. You know, I don't necessarily agree with the decision to get Hesh back into the game. I mean, that makes me think they may be holding for the final shot. Because if Hesh gets his 3rd foul here before the half, it's not going to be pretty for the Dukes. We see what happens when Hesh gets in foul trouble. The height goes out, the shooting goes out, the defense goes out. All of a sudden, they're having a hard time beating simple presses.
Right, you lose a lot when he goes out. I would have assumed you would have left Kastner in, who takes a seat on the bench right now. You leave him in for that physical ability to, move well down low. I know Kastner isn't the same score by Hesh is by any means. Kind of an odd decision, you're right, but yeah, York will hold for that final shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's questionable by Kircher. No need to go up with that. Hesh, huge offensive rebound. I mean, Kircher goes up with a contested shot when they could have held for the last one. Hesh with a huge offensive rebound, rather, and now they draw a foul.
Javon Johnson got all of Kircher's arm, and they're going to bring in Malaga and they're going to bring in, they're going to go full substitution.
And I absolutely like this decision. Now, after they miss from the line or make from the line, if someone does pick up a foul, it's not someone as vital as your Nick Hesh, as your Jeffrey Grace, as your Denton Rhodey.
Right, and I know you take out the defense of Jeffrey Grace, but it's a good idea to just avoid the players who are currently sitting right there in foul trouble going to the half with a comfortable lead.
No, yeah, Coach Dunn's certainly thinking, I'd rather give up 2 points than a Jeffrey Grace foul right now, and that's even if they do get an open look. That's not to say that Casey doesn't play great defense, because he does.
Casey can also shoot if, let's say, you get one more chance in these next 8 seconds. You have Sherman, who hit a buzzer beater last night to end the first half.
Yeah, Casey, a bit of a sharpshooting 2-way. I love that, the sub there by Dunn. Really made up for the bad Hesh substitution. 4 seconds. They beat the press quick. Only 2 seconds to go. That's a weird look. Oh, man. Hits the iron twice. Gabriel Wright couldn't get it to go. Probably not what they drew up there. You see Tamarion Shorts extremely frustrated, screaming head and hands. As a result of COVID, we will see the Proviso East Pirates staying on the floor, not going to the locker room. Duke's headed to the locker room. 10-minute intermission here. Duke's on top by 9. Bobby, before we do leave for this intermission, Duke's on top by 9. I mean, they seem to be up at almost every halftime. What do they have to do to finally preserve a lead and do it in a commanding fashion? I mean, we saw last night they did walk away with the win, but they still got heavily outscored last night. The Dukes have to have something drawn up here. You assume Dunn sees this trend. What's he going to do to continue this lead?
I think it's simple. Don't let your foot off the gas with this, because we've seen it. We saw it happen with Oak Park. We saw it happen with Hinsdale. And we kind of saw it last night happen with Downers Grove North. They didn't shoot tremendously well in the 3rd quarter last night, but I think you just have to keep your foot on the gas, continue the really good defense, and stop shooting from beyond the arc with some of their shots. Get back down low. If they try to take that away, then yeah, you'd go to outside of the 3-point line.
Absolutely. There you have it. 9 minutes. We will be back in 9 minutes. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. Duke's on top by 9. We will be right back after this intermission. just a minute to go here in this halftime period. Dukes, I mean, this is more the same for them, on top by 9. 28-19 your score, your Dukes on top. We saw some unprecedented players in for the Dukes early. We saw Landon Redfern in there for a little while, Casey getting some extended minutes, Rhodey really not playing too much. It's clear that Dunn had his plan, and he had a plan ready this time around, that he's going to get other players in the game early in order to keep guys like Rhodey, Grace, and Hesh on the floor in the second half, and it's clearly worked so far for the Dukes.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. They've done a good job. They stayed out of foul trouble, and those names would be, like you mentioned, Grace, Rhodey, and Hesh. He's got to. They just, like I said, going into halftime, they can't let their foot off the gas with this one.
Oh, no, and that's what Dunn has done a great job of in this one. He got those substitutions in the game, as I already hit on. He got Landon in the game early. He got a lot of Alex Sherman action, so now his big three of Hesh, Rhodey, and Grace are really not in too much of foul trouble. I mean, Hesh, 2 fouls, Rhodey, 2 fouls, but for them, that's not a lot in the first half.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you call Hesh with 2 fouls foul trouble at this point in his career?
At this point in his career, no. Him and Rhodey, 2 fouls is very good for them in the first half. I mean, they both play very physical, and that's how they consistently get their points on the board. But, I mean, it ultimately leads to plenty of fouls. And that's why 2 fouls for Hesh in the first half is a godsend.
I would say it would be beneficial if they don't pick up any fouls this half.
Absolutely.
Or in this quarter, I should say. Odds that happening, I don't think will.
And just like that, more of the same. Dukes give up an early second half bucket to Gabriel Wright. And good news for the Pirates, Jelani Johnson already back in the game. We saw him tweaked that leg early on. He's already back in. Rhodey going up, can't get it. And now the Pirates have a chance to cut this lead down to less than 7. Here comes Johnson, going to work on Grace. Grace him to bid out match there, but ultimately got a rip. And that's a double dribble charge against Javon Johnson. He's unhappy with it. It would have been Duke's basketball one way or another. Didn't look like a double dribble, just no reason to stop the clock there.
Yeah, Donnie Boyce was a little confused with that, too. He was like, how is that a double dribble? And yes. He is.
It was clearly touched in between that. That was not a double dribble, but, I mean, the Dukes had the ball one way or another, so really didn't ultimately impact anything too much other than a clock stoppage, and Boyce was aware of that. Now it's Kircher. Kircher being double teamed. That's what this Proviso East team is so good at. They almost run a defense similar to Baylor Bears defense, #2 in the country in college basketball. They're so quick to switch between zone and man, and that's a great inside feed, and one. Luke Malaga's going to the line. That shuts down all momentum, and he is feeling it.
He is pumped. You're right, and one opportunity. He's got, I believe that's 7 for him, and you go to the line to get that one. It's just a great look inside and a great way to finish and draw contact the whole way through, and you always want to finish through contact on those layups.
And that's extremely rare for this Proviso East defense. I know that they're not the most efficient defense, but at least in this one, the 30 points, assuming that Malaga made that, the 30 points that this Proviso East team has given up, I mean, a lot of them have been contested shots. The Dukes have just been the better team thus far. Defense not the problem, offense not the problem. They just have to get it going even more if they want to contest this Dukes team for a win.
Yeah, I also think York has done a better job taking smarter shots. There's a deep 3.
Jelani Johnson trying to shoot himself out of a rut.
But I think you can agree with me on that York has taken smarter shots.
Just in general, York has looked like the better team. Not something we've been able to say too much so far this year, but they have looked sharp as Hesh gets an open 3 off the front iron. But Denton Rhodey's right there. I mean, that's what happens when your players aren't in foul trouble. Sure, Hesh misses a 3. Why not? Denton Rhodey right there to get the lead to 11.
Yeah, great job just to throw it right back up there and finish strong by Rhodey. And he knew that was coming. He knew where it was going to go off the glass. Just a smart heads-up play by Denton Rhodey.
Oh, and a great block from Nick Hesh. Trying to stay out of foul trouble, and he does just that with a beautiful, clean block. And now it's Kircher with the mid-range jumper. He has a high shot. Can't get it to go. Kircher been a little bit cold so far in this one. And that foul does come against number 5, Luke Malaga. And a bit of a surprise there. It seemed like Proviso East was actually upset with the foul. They score in transition. They wanted to keep it going. They give the Dukes a bit of a chance to set up here. And Johnson was clearly unhappy about that.
Yeah, kind of slow down with that. I don't think that's what Proviso East wants to do. And the fact that they've been held to 21 points, I think that's got to get them thinking, we can't play like this.
I mean,
Little
sure,
jittery.
they've put up some not smart shots, but guys like Jeffrey Grace, I mean, he is just such a great two-way player. That's certainly part of the credit for why this team has been held so low on the scoreboard. Grace with a steal, Grace with a jump ball, York Dukes basketball.
A great job, and Boyce is going to call a timeout. He wants to get his team a little bit back more composed as York starts off with 4 straight points. In York, they didn't start off the half kind of ideal. They still haven't had the flow yet, or the same rhythm that they did to end the first half. But they've done a much better job here to start the second half compared to previous games. I think that what they do in the third quarter is going to set up what they do for the fourth quarter. And they played a really good fourth quarter last night, but they've got to play really good third quarter tonight. And then you got to just finish strong in that fourth quarter.
You know, I love that saying, beggars can't be choosers. Sure, this may not have been the perfect 2.5 minutes of basketball, but the Dukes have looked very, very
right.
good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, compared to what you're used to for them coming out of half, it's clear that since that OPRF game, it's clear that there's a different mindset from not only the players, but Dunn, keeping the players out of foul trouble, and it's led to this 11-point lead that, I mean, all of a sudden this Dukes team looks like something very special.
Right. I think that also the other thing with York is Coach Dunn before the Downers Grove North game, you know, where I was when we were prepping for our radio stream last night, they were right next door talking. He's like, just play mad. Play like we haven't played the way we wanted. And Drew Kircher, he told me, he said, we have to put these games behind us, the games that we've blown. We also haven't played a complete game yet. We've played well for a half, but we have to play a full, complete game.
You know, I spoke to senior Jeffrey Grace on the blowing of the leads, and I mean, maybe a bit of a wishful thinking with Glenbard West in the conference, but he said he truly believes the Dukes are the best team in this conference. They just haven't played to the score. They've given up points that they didn't want to give up. And Grace.
Charge.
That's not a foul Grace wants to pick up, but I mean, he is very confident in these players around him. Sure, he's often the only senior on the floor, but he shows great trust in these underclassmen and Alex Sherman and these juniors. And I mean, the team chemistry is never lacking with the Dukes. You saw Doran in his entire time with York only picked up 10 losses, believe it or not, 10 regular season losses.
In just the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's just amazing. 57-10, I believe it was, something like that.
Sounds right.
I mean, wow. Doran did an absolutely amazing job with his York program. A huge reason they are where they are right now. And a huge reason Jeffrey Grace is the player he is. Great development from all the York coaching staff. Whole new staff in this year, looking to draw something up at this timeout. Dukes up by 11. 4:57 to go in this third quarter. York Sports Network will be right back after this timeout. And we are back. Dukes on top by 11. Looking to maintain that lead here. Dukes bench letting him hear it again. There they go. Gets it right back to Jelani Johnson, that brother duo. I mean, there's clear chemistry there. They continuously pass it back and forth. They've got to get something going in the bucket, though.
Yeah, you're right about that. They've tried to get stuff going inside.
Now here comes Jelani Johnson. Jelani had that tweaked leg in the first half. Oh, it looks like Jeffrey Grace tipped that one in for him.
Yeah, I think they tried to grab rebound. And it was Jamion Williams, too, who also kind of got tied up with that. So either way, it's still a Proviso East score.
That foul looks to come against Jeffrey Grace. I mean,
no, it's going to be a Proviso East foul, I believe.
Oh, yes, you're right. That's against, I mean, the biggest player for the Pirates, Javon Johnson. It was no matter what going against one of the stars. And it does go against Javon Johnson. From our angle, it almost looked like Grace made more contact, but Rhodey fighting through the contact and getting more points to extend this Duke's lead right back up to 11.
Yeah, Rhodey's done a good job. He's got 8 points, and each one has came down low. He's been smart, and we're going to see Sherman and Kastner checking for the first times in the second half. I think York is going to try to get stuff going with Sherman right now.
Jelani Johnson getting a little fancy there, doing a spin move for who knows what, maybe just to get the confidence back, check out that ankle/calf. He's definitely feeling himself right now as he takes the contested 3. Jelani really trying to shoot himself out of a slump right now. It seems like he's missed like his last 5 looks now. Going the other way is Kircher. Gets it to Rhodey in the corner. Rhodey trying to get it inside, and he does, but that puts him in a bad position. Great heads-up play there from Malaga. I mean, that's something you get when you have a senior in the game. Not everyone would think to throw that off the leg of an opposition. Malaga has the experience, and it certainly showed there.
Yeah, you're right about that. Malaga hasn't taken the he doesn't have that many points, at least in this one, but he's done a good job making the heads-up plays. I think that's the one thing. He's got really smart basketball IQ.
I'm going the other way. Jelani Johnson trying to get it inside. Oh, that's careless. That's an over and back. No doubt about that one. Still smart to grab the ball so the Dukes don't get it in their own zone, but man, careless basketball there.
Yeah, it has been. You can't make plays like that, especially when you're down by 11.
Certainly cannot. Now here comes the Dukes. Jeffrey Grace with it now. Grace. It's to Kastner. Gets it right back up to Kircher. Kircher being double teamed, trying to find someone open. If there's 2 people on you, someone's got to be open.
Absolutely.
Now Grace getting double teamed. Finds the open Kircher. Kircher didn't want the shot. Sherman to Kircher. Kircher to Rhodey. Rhodey trying to get it to Grace, but can't. Great recovery there by Tamarion Shorts, and the ball's going the other way. Now they're finally pushing the pace. The Pirates have not been able to do that, and Rhodey still doesn't allow him to do it with a great block and recovery. Grace going the other way. Now it's the Dukes pushing the pace themselves. Grace loses it. Rhodey, recovery. Denton Rhodey has been huge in this third quarter.
You think that was intentional? You think that was an intentional move by Grace? Kind of like just throw it up there and hope it gets into the hands of Rhodey? Because that's what it kind of looked like from up here.
Definitely was not intentional, but you know what? When you have a guy like Denton Rhodey on your team, he's there to bail you out. Man, these Pirates have been unable to get anything going here in this third quarter. It's a foul. Looks like Kircher wanted to travel. It was close. But that foul will come against Drew Kircher, now his second.
Yeah, Kircher was upset with that call.
It was close. It certainly was.
It was.
But now Kircher subbing out of the game. Once again, Luke Malaga right back on the floor.
Yeah, Luke Malaga, the great senior player with 7 points. You know, York, they just took out Rhodey for Hesh. So you're running with the big men of Hesh and Kastner. It's kind of an interesting duo that you're going to have, but it's worked today. It's a great setup by Coach Dunn.
Inside. Jamani finally gets himself out of the slump. That was a questionable look, but it went in.
They're starting to press. It's going to be a full court press right now. Double team.
That's a jump ball.
Yeah.
Grace certainly fortunate there. Almost looked like he traveled. And it looks like Rhodey's heading to the trainer on the sideline now. He looks to be okay.
Well, they taped up his ankle at the start. I wonder if they'll do it again.
And it looks like they're applying some form of tape, so Rhodey probably having some sort of bothering somewhere. No, they're taping up his thumb.
All right. That's a great feed to Hesh.
Man, I mean, that's 2 times this game. Somehow, some way, someone's got higher than Nick Hesh for a block off the glass, and Javon Johnson capitalizes. Momentum's moving the other way, Dukes. How are they going to answer? JG3. Getting it to Malaga. Malaga to Hesh. Hesh being double teamed, finds the open Grace, and wow, I mean, Coach Donnie Boyce is upset about something, and it looks like that may be it. Hesh is open on the inside. Bad pass. Hesh trying to recover. And it looks like Kastner's able to recover. Now they have an odd man rush. That's a wide open look for Malaga. Way off the mark there. Great box out from Hesh, and it leads to an open Hesh corner three. That's his spot. Nick Hesh doesn't miss from the corner. He's on top by 12.
Yeah, great shot by Nick Hesh. I believe that is, I don't know how many he has. You can't really see from this point of view, but a great shot by Hesh.
He's up
in the corner. Is that 13 or 3? One of the two.
I believe it's 8. But interesting so far. We saw in his sophomore year, Hesh definitely more shaky from that spot, but he has really come into his own here junior year.
He improved over the 12-month layoff.
We saw the entire team still working out despite COVID and the unknowns of the season. That's wide open. No, Hesh was there on the inside. Maybe a potential tip-in. Would have been tough.
Right.
But Duke's on top, 39-27. Only 1 quarter of play to go. Pirates need to get something going. Bobby, how are they going to get something going?
I think how you're going to get something going, at least with this, is right now you're down by 12, and York has done a real good job winning down low, forcing Proviso's bigs in foul trouble, even though really hasn't been much of that foul trouble per se. I think the way Proviso is they got to attack this fourth quarter is they just kind of have to outmatch them and, just kind of win with the pure scoring that they have. Because I think they have, especially with Javon Johnson, who is much more of a pure scorer than a few of the York players that are getting good minutes right now. I would just attack it with him.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think the clear key right now, the Pirates have not been able to do what they do best, and that's move in the transition. I mean, all of a sudden the Dukes are forcing them to slow down, which they don't like. They don't have a set offense. You notice when they actually get to that slow down ball where the Dukes are fully set in, they struggle. I mean, they have a hard time finding open shots. And it's interesting, like, as we mentioned, players are mad when the Dukes pick up fouls because they like to be able to get into transition. So, I mean, what the Dukes are doing is certainly working. Buzzer sounds, quarter intermission is over. Dukes in the huddle for a couple extra seconds. You expect to see that same lineup out there for the Dukes?
I think they're going to bring in, it looks like they're going to have Casey go in, so I think they're going to go a little bit more young, just kind of to have a good job defensively, give Grace a breather.
It's interesting. You look at Casey, with all due respect, I mean, he doesn't look like someone who would be as great as he is on the defensive end. I mean, he's
a great two-way player.
He isn't the Patrick Kastner build of just sheer muscle, but he is extremely good at applying pressure on the defensive end.
It's kind of the same way with Drew Kircher, very good defensively.
Yeah, this Dukes team, the entirety of it, great on the defense, and now they're set up in defense.
Oh.
You hear the ref explaining why they said he got his arm, because you can see a lot of Dukes were confused about it. That goes against Luke Malaga.
That's
now his second. A lot of Dukes with 2 fouls right now. Successful inbound. Kircher almost had it. Inside, trying to work against this Dukes trap. Now it's Shorts. Shorts for 3. Got it. That was a shot that the Pirates needed. Finally, you hear the York bench sitting back down, not being loud.
Your Proviso East is trying to sit back into their tempo, and I think this is where York is going to have to win it. These next seven minutes, they have to do a good job, and they've got to limit the turnovers.
And, that is one problem you get when you bring Casey into the game. You saw he had the open lane to get past half court, immediately gave it up. Not as confident on the offensive end as he is the defensive end, and he pays for it as Jelani Johnson cuts the lead to 7.
Yeah, that inexperience is showing right there, and it's the reason why they're going to bring in Grace.
Yeah, there's no reason Grace shouldn't be on the floor right now. He is the best press beater on this team and really just the best ball manager on this team in general.
A great 5-0 run, and they're initially going with the double team.
You see Casey always very quick to pass it off. Now you see the Pirates almost shifting away from him on defense. He's open in the corner. It's good ball movement here from the Dukes. Nice long possession up by 7. No need to move the pace. Hesh gets fouled.
They're going to stay on the way up, too.
Yeah, that was interesting. Cleary was passing, but he was in the air. They call it on the way up. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. And The Pirates finally making the substitutions I think we all were suspecting, finally getting Jamian Williams and Javon Johnson back into the game. Almost seemed like it was going to clank in there, gets an unlucky bounce. Hesh misses the first one. Out of the game, it comes number 3, Amorion Griffin. I mean, as we mentioned, they only have 8 players dressed, but they have really all made a mark in this one.
Yeah, they have all touched the floor to a point, and they've done that.
They've all done well. I mean,
yeah, each one has made a name for themselves. Everyone out there's got a point.
We saw the Johnsons doing most of the work early, but I mean, when Jamani really slowed down, everyone's been doing a great job, and you see Coach Boyce really trying to get them to up the transition speed. Doesn't work out for him. Rebound goes to Jeffrey Grace. That's why you get him back in the game.
Jeffrey Grace has done a really good job this game. He may only have 4 points, but he's done a good job setting the tempo for this York team.
You know, Grace is one of those players who all the points that he makes up for aren't always shown on the scoreboard.
Right.
He prevents points from the other side. He's a great ball mover, and he really executes the offense better than anybody else.
And he'll stay down there. Boyce was confused. He thought, shouldn't that be our ball? It's going to stay with York.
You know, that's happened a lot in this quarter. Boyce been more vocal than we've seen so far combined. Boyce livid so far. Rhodey, he's starting to feel that shot almost a little too much. Not a look you want to see there. Up by 7. Now the transition speed kicks up. Hesh, great defense off of Hesh. Looks to help him up. He denies it. Looks like after some confusion, Tamarion Shorts will be the guy inbounding the ball. They're running a concept stack here. There's Jelani Johnson, gets it to his brother Javon. 2 JJs on the floor. Jelani, guarded tightly by Grace. It's hard to score against a guy like Jeffrey Grace, especially against a double team. I mean, you've got to be feeling yourself to shoot that shot, and he certainly was as it goes in.
Yeah, falling away to the left side.
Through the double team as well.
Exactly, with guarded by Grace and Malaga. That's hard to do.
And if you're Jeffrey Grace, you've got to be thinking to yourself, what more do I have to do against this Jelani Johnson kid? I mean, I'm guarding him tight. We have 2 people on him. Now they have an odd man rush. Grace trying to score for himself, and he does. Grace up to 6 points on the day. That was a much-needed basket for the Dukes.
Yeah, he was open when he got that basket, too. And a good block by Hesh.
You know, that's what that transition speed does. It almost generated a good look for the Pirates, but Nick Hesh is just that good. There's a travel on Kircher. This has not been Kircher's night.
No, it hasn't.
But you see Dunn continues to let him play through the slump, and now you see senior Jeffrey Grace telling him something. Clearly, as I've stated, Grace great at keeping this team morale up. Easy for Drew Kircher to get down on himself after a performance like tonight, but Dunn and Grace doing a great job of keeping him in the right mindset. Duke's on top by 7. I mean, they've done a great job holding on to this lead. Looks like they'll be able to do so if they can continue playing like they do. We've seen the Pirates all of a sudden generating some weird contested points. I don't think that's the recipe for success. What do you think their recipe for success is?
Yeah, they're just trying to get the open shots. They're also getting a lot of confusing shots off that are just so happening to go in. I don't know if that's more skill or if that's more luck-based. Either way, you don't want those shots to happen. And you're right with Kircher. He's had a few turnovers. He's been all right from the line. He's actually done pretty good from the line, that is. But he's got to do a better job. He's scoring down low because he's had a few of those blown layups. But it's kind of been the case with everyone. So York, they just have to continue to win down low. You're only up by 7 onto these 5 minutes. And what have I said for most of this half? Don't let your foot off the gas.
All gas, no brakes is the mantra here. And I would absolutely agree with that. Duke's doing a great job maintaining the lead, forcing some bad shots. The Pirates have somehow got them to go. Jelani Johnson really been turning it on here in the 4th quarter. They'll have the ball, but it won't be in transition, not what they like to do. We'll see how that affects this offensive possession. Jelani Johnson will be inbounding it to his brother Javon. Both of which will be on this Pirates team next year, something to watch. Great progression. Maybe this team doesn't walk away with the win today. They're already 500 this year. I mean, it's fun to imagine what this team could look like next year with Javon being a senior and Jelani being a junior.
Right.
They forced a timeout out of the Pirates' pocket. I mean, certainly not what they had called up at that last timeout to get that inbound successful. I mean, that didn't work out for him, to say the least.
No, that didn't. Not what they wanted to do, and that timeout came within what? The next 6 seconds out of the timeout. For Proviso East, that's completely unacceptable.
Only 3 left, so you'd like to preserve those here for the end of the fourth quarter if it does get any tighter. Nonetheless, Duke's on top by 7, 41-34. We will be right back after the short 30-second timeout. And that timeout is commenced. Clearly, Coach Boyce has got to get something else going here. Certainly had to call up something different after that fail of a first attempt. But will it work? Jelani with it now. Jelani Johnson signaling a play, clearly drawn up by Boyce in the huddle. Now it's his brother Javon Johnson with it now. This to Gabriel Wright. Back to Tamarion Shorts. Shorts gets it across the floor to Gabriel Wright again. Long possession here for the Pirates, not something they like, and it results in a bad pass. It's recovered by Javon Johnson, guarded closely by Hash. He got it. I mean, it's hard to score through a contest like that, but they have got a couple contested points in a row now.
And that was a deep 3-2 over Hash. And Hash, the big thing, like I mentioned, he's extremely lengthy. You can't let this slip out of your hands if you're York.
And I'll tell you what, if Boyce was told that he was going to be getting a contested 3 over Nick Hash, he probably would not like that timeout, but it worked out. Even though that foul does come against number 12, Gabriel Wright. He's 6'5". Certainly a height differential there. Only taller guy on his team on the floor, listed at 6'6", is Tamarion Shorts. Just under half this fourth quarter remaining. All of a sudden, the Duke's only on top by 4. Could that be partially due to luck? Maybe. They've been playing good defense, but shots have been falling. And it's been working out for the Pirates. I mean, even if it may not have been exactly what the doctor ordered, it has worked. Now it's Grace trying to get something going here on the offensive end. The Dukes have all of a sudden slowed down. Malaga, Hesh off the Denton Rohde screen. No, that was a great play call. I assume Dunn had that in his pocket for a reason. There was already a preset off-ball screen by Rohde inside there for Hesh to get that shot. He just couldn't finish.
Yeah, and then that one, it just went out of bounds. Rohde thought that was out on a Proviso East player. It wasn't.
Man, this storyline just continues to thicken. Somehow, the Pirates have a chance to get it to a one-possession Dukes lead here. That's Jelani Johnson with, oh my gosh. I mean, Jelani Johnson has turned it on. He's turned the thermostat to 100 here.
Yeah, he's got 11 points too, and a lot have just came in these just final few minutes.
What is happening to the Dukes? This is insanity. That's Kircher to Hesh. Rohde has been liking that shot this season. Opts not to take it. Instead, he goes to Kircher. Kircher all the way inside. That's a clean block. Rohde offensive rebound. He'll go to the line. And the night continues for Kircher.
Yeah, Kircher went up there. He got blocked. Thought he had a clean shot, but then Rohde, a good job, managed to get to the line.
You know, and it's nothing against Drew Kircher. He's a great player. He had a great season at the end of last season. He had a great season this season. If I'm Coach Dunn, I think that the right move right now may be to get Casey in the game. If the offensive production isn't there from Drew either way, why not get the lockdown tier and Casey into the game?
Well, either him or even bring in Sherman, who has had that experience shooting threes. And
he is an offensive spark.
Right, he is a huge offensive spark.
To me, it seems like the Dukes may need that extra help on defense, as now all of a sudden the Pirates have a chance to tie. See a big difference from the last game. Dunn getting all the players into it. Not that glum feeling when they're blowing the lead. Instead, it's let's keep this lead. Now it's Johnson. Both Johnson brothers doing a great job staying out of foul trouble. They get the open look they want. It doesn't go, but Jelani, I mean, he's everywhere. Gets the offensive board, and now he's fouled. They'll say it was on the floor.
Yeah, that one's on Rohde. I think that's his third. He was a little confused by that call.
The Dukes really have done a great job staying out of trouble if Rohde's your leading fouler with 3. But the ball will stay with the Pirates. A little bit of an unorthodox play call there to get the ball in. Jelani working all the way inside. I mean, how is Jelani Johnson doing this? So many of these shots seem like they're like really bad attempts, but I mean, he's consistently getting points, and
Right.
that's all that matters.
Yeah, he's getting inside as Hesh picked up his third, and Coach Dunn was screaming for a travel. He thought Johnson had taken too many steps.
It seemed like that had happened after the contact.
And we're going to see Sherman come in. My guess is he'll probably come in for either Malaga or Kircher for that offensive spark.
I would be surprised if he subbed out Malaga here. No need to take out the seniority. But Malaga will come out. No,
Rhodey.
they're taking out Rhodey. That's interesting. Only 3 fouls. Man, that's height that they'll miss on the inside, especially with Jelani Johnson just now seeming to find out that he could drive against this Dukes team.
Yeah, you're putting out there Sherman, who he is 5'11", but you take out the height to more of an outside shooting presence.
I mean, Jelani Johnson has just been nothing short of spectacular in this fourth quarter. He gets both free throws to go, cuts the lead to 1. No shot clock here. Of course, the Dukes can run off as much clock as they possibly can, barring a turnover. It's Kircher. He's had a few of those this game. Immediately gives it to Hesh.
Yeah, under 2 minutes to go.
Nearly a turnover there. That was a risky pass from Hesh to Kircher that was unneeded. I mean, it was just to reset the offense.
Now it's
Kircher trying to motion Sherman across the floor. It looks like he wants to get in himself. As Malaga, they wanted to travel, didn't get it. And the Dukes have successfully ran a minute off the clock, exactly what Don had likely drawn up.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of people cutting too hard.
And with the Pirates having many less players on the bench, they're trying to generate noise. It's just not working as well as the Dukes. Timeout from Dunn. The Dukes successfully run a minute off the clock while maintaining possession. That is a problem with the high school shot clock rule. But you got to do what you got to do, and if it works, it works. Dukes on top by 1, 42-41. We're in for a good one, folks. York Sports Network, AJ Swiatek, Bobby Hessling. We will be right back after this full timeout by Coach Dunn. And we are back. Grace up by 1, just looking to keep possession. Get it to Rhodey on the outside. Rhodey back to the inside. Hesh, until he wanted it, but makes the smarter choice of holding onto the ball. Barely finds Grace in time.
He wasn't close enough to the basket.
Reset the offense yet again. Dunn still trusting Kircher despite the early flaws. Certainly working out for him. Great spot on the way up. Now at the very best, the Dukes will still only have a 1-possession lead.
Yeah, and Eads picked up his third right now, but Kircher, or Grace, pardon me, he's got to go to the line and knock down both of these.
Huge free throws for Jeffrey Grace. He's not known as a shooter, but he is certainly a team player, and he comes up big when it matters. JG, nothing but nylon on the first one. I mean, I could only imagine the fans were here right now.
Oh,
this
yeah.
game would be unreal. Not that it already isn't. Appreciate you tuning into the stream, to all of our viewers. But man, fans make such a difference as Grace gets them both to go. Just as I said, not a proclaimed shooter, but Grace comes up when the Dukes need it. He is just one of those players. Dukes up by 3, full timeout charge to Coach Dunn. Dukes 44, Pirates 41. York Sports Network will be right back after this timeout break. And we're back. Dukes up by 3. Pirates with a chance to tie or shoot to 2. Bobby, the age-old question. What's the move here?
Take a 2. I know you need a 3, take a 2.
The only problem with that methodology
Easy basket.
in high school basketball, the no shot clock, sure you take the 2, but now all of a sudden the Dukes have a chance to run some time off the clock. We'll see what they opt to do.
Well, then you're just playing the foul game to that point.
Dukes don't even press. They know that they love their transition points, so they stay back. Dunn wanted some call there. Oh, Jelani Johnson, so contested. Feels himself a bit too much there. That's been going for him in the 4th, but it doesn't this time.
You try to get in the hands of Kircher to go to the line because he's been really good from the line. And Johnson will go to the line with Grace, that is.
Yes.
Pardon me. Johnson was the one who had the foul.
That was interesting. No need to shoot the ball that quickly on a contested 3. Jelani Johnson, yet again with a questionable shot choice. I mean, they've been falling, but still, your basketball knowledge should tell you, do I need to be taking this shot? No.
I am a little more concerned. Why does York not have another one in the lane? I know Grace made that one,
yeah,
but still, just out of precaution.
Yeah, they're opting to have 3 players back. I could see where you would question that, but it's this transition offense that's so deadly. That's got to be why they're doing it. And he makes them both. Grace has came up so big here. Just over 30 seconds remaining. That's a full timeout called by Donnie Boyce. His Pirates now all of a sudden trailing by 5 after the sloppy possession from Jelani Johnson. They'll need points here, and they'll need some misses from the free throw line. We'll see if they could do it. 32.5 seconds to go. York Sports Network will be right back after this full timeout by the Pirates. And we're back. Bobby. Dukes on top by 5. You can see Donnie Boyce still in the huddle calling something up here. What's it going to be? What's the play here? I mean, he's seen his guys take so many just careless looks. What does he do to change that?
Well, I'm not in the huddle right now. I think they'll try to find an open shot with either Javon or Jelani Johnson, both who really made themselves big names there on the scoreboard, but it would have to go to one of them, and they got to get it off before you get to 15 seconds.
And before that shot even went up, it was a good look. Before that shot even went up, Donnie Boyce was upset with something. He turned around, raised his arms, clearly visually upset. I mean, they ended up getting a pretty good look. He just threw it too hard off the glass.
Right, exactly. And now you're going to play that free throw game as Javon Johnson picks up his 4th, and Grace will go to the line to shoot 2. Well, 1 and 1.
And Dunn clearly showing his confidence in Grace late game. He's made 4 in a row. Made a point to get the inbound to Grace so he could go to the line again. Got it again. That's 5 in a row for Jeff.
Yeah, and back-to-back double-digit nights for Jeff and Grace with 18 last night, and he had 11. He's got 11 tonight.
Grace makes this one. And he does. I mean, now all of a sudden the Pirates are going to need a miracle. The Dukes extend the lead to 7. That really does not show how close this game was. The late fouls really extended that lead. Jelani Johnson trying to do it all himself. Gets it to his brother Javon. Javon for 3. He needs it. No. And with that being Dukes basketball, this game is just about all but over. Dukes up by 7. 5.5 to go. They really figured it out at the end when they needed to. Only up by 1. Got it to 3 with the Grace free throws.
Yeah, Kircher did a good job forcing him out of bounds then.
Forced the bad shots. York Dukes move back above 500. The Dukes 5 and 4. Proviso East Pirates move down to 3 and 4. York Dukes on top, 48-41. Bobby, this was a great one. We saw some back and forth basketball. Dukes seemed to have the lead for nearly the entire game. This 7-point deficit really did not show the fight from this 8-team dressed Pirates. You see Boyce upset about how they played. This was interesting.
It was interesting.
It certainly was. You see these 2 brothers, they'll be back again next year. But as for the rest of the year for the Pirates, what do they have to do to right the ship? They're now below 500. They certainly have the talent. They have the coaching staff. What do they have to do?
I think it's just more of you kind of have to focus in. Now, both these teams, they were on short rest. You don't rest. That is, they had a game last night, and then, they have to, or Proviso East, that is, they had to come back here. They had to go. They were on the road for back-to-back nights.
And for a team that plays that fast, I mean,
right,
that's rough.
That's tough, especially only having 8 players. I would say you're right. They did come out. They fought, but could have been a much better game for them. York did a good job, but it was a little close at the end.
And it was a great game. Dukes finally showed that they could close out a game. They gave another scare, which is exactly what I said we didn't want to see. I mean, the question marks are still there for the next time they have a lead at halftime. But nonetheless, they were able to hold on. Now on a 2-game win streak, 2 big wins in a row against very good clubs. Dukes, 5-4. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. This was a great one. AJ Swiatek, Bobby Hessling in the booth. So long, Dukes fans and Pirates fans. We really appreciate all of our viewers. York Sports Network. Until next time, signing off.